All right, in this video, we're going to solve triangles using the law of sine. And I'm going to do it specifically to help you through Khan Academy because of all the decimal. You can do this thing completely right, and the decimals are going to kill you. So I'll try and show you how to get away from all those rounding errors and truncation errors you guys are doing. So first off, what is the law of sine? I'll show you that, and then what does all this mean? So we've got a triangle here. It says triangle ABC has angle B that's 35 degrees, angle C that's 14 degrees. A little a is 24 and little b is 13.9. So most of the time in your Khan Academy videos and stuff like that, they go ahead and give you the picture. So in here, I didn't give you the picture, but I want to kind of give you the next level of what happens here. So first off, I'm going to just draw a triangle. Typically, these are going to be obtuse because we get rid of some ambiguity that way. But B is 35, so I'm going to pick one that kind of looks like a 35-degree angle. This one kind of does, not really, but close enough. C is 14. This looks like a 14-degree angle. That means this is A. And we have little a. What the heck does little a mean? Well, little a is always across from the big A that you chose. So little a is, or lowercase a is 24. And little b, which is lowercase b, is across from the 35. So the lowercase a sides are always across from the capital angles. So this is 13.9. And when it says solve, it generally means solve all of them. In Khan, they're going to tell you to solve a specific one. So let's start by finding probably the easiest thing to find, which is angle A. Well, angle A, don't forget the easy stuff. A triangle has to equal 180 degrees. So 180 minus 49 will give you angle A. And how did I get 149? Well, I got 149 by just adding the 35 and the 14 together and subtracting from 180. So this is 131 degrees. All right, now one thing we're going to have to find now is this length. The only thing that's missing now is this length right here. And so this would be lowercase c. So we want to know what lowercase c is. So what I do, or what you should try to do in this, is I'm going to extend this just a little bit, is first off I'm going to define what the law of sine is. So the law of sine basically says this. If you have a sine of an angle and then the side opposite is the same as the side of another angle and the side opposite of it, and it's the same as the sine of the third angle and the side opposite of it. So sine of c over little c. And you can only work with two at a time. So we're looking for C, for little c here. And so what we'll do is go ahead and set up this sine of c side. And then I'm going to use let's see, what am I given here? I'm going to use the 24 and the 131. So we're going to use A. So you'd have, if you filled it in, you'd have sine of A, which we know is 131 degrees now, over 24, is the same as the sine of C, which is 14 degrees, over little c, we don't know. Now here's where you get in trouble with Khan Academy. So when you multiply these out, we want to get common denominators. So before I find any of this stuff, before I find out what sine of c is, I'm going to go ahead and do the algebra. So we have to multiply this side, well, not by c. We want a common denominator. So we need to multiply this side. It's missing a 24. So to get a common denominator, we're going to have to multiply both sides by 24, or the right side by 24 over 24, which is 1. And then the left side needs a c, which is c over c, to make 1. And then if you multiplied the whole thing, and just to show you what's going on, if you multiply the whole thing by 24c, now this cancels and this cancels, and this cancels and this cancels. So we're left with C times sine of 131 equals, and I'm just going to rearrange these, 24 times sine of 14. So we don't get into any trouble with parentheses. And so we're down to this point, and now we're going to solve for C. So this is multiplying by sine of 131. So we're going to divide both sides by sine of 131. So sine of 131. Notice I haven't gotten my calculator out yet. Because if you get it out too early and you start rounding, kind of grossly rounding this, you're going to have problems. Again, what I would suggest you use is Desmos. The Desmos scientific calculator is a pretty decent one. I'm going to clear this thing out. Clear all. And let's just enter this just as it is. So we're going to enter 24 sine of 14 divided by sine of 131. So 24 times sine of 14 divided by sine of 131. And you should get 7.6932. Now, again, round it correctly to whatever Con, I'm just making sure I'm right, whatever Con decides to, they want you to put the answer in at. I would go 2 decimals. Most of the time is 2 decimals, so 7.69. If it was tenths, it would be 7.7. And if those type of errors are aggravating, you can do it all right and then enter the wrong decimal and it's wrong. So that's that part. Now there's 2 types of questions with law of sine, and we're not going to talk about kind of the complex ones. We're just going to do the easy ones. And so here's another one. So you've got this triangle again. So here's angle A, because I know that looks like a 107-degree angle. Little a is 17, so it has to go across from it. C, now it doesn't matter at this point, so this is big B. Angles are always capital, and this is big C. And so that means this is 12. Notice what I'm missing here. I'm missing angles. So let's find angle C first. And again, you can use law of sine. We're still going to use law of sine, just like we did before. But we're going to change it just slightly. So it's, I'm going to use the A. So sine of A, which is 107, over little a, which is 17. Mess that up. Over 17 equals, we want to solve for C. So sine of C over 12. Okay, so again, do not get your calculator out. We're going to solve that thing so that we don't end up with huge rounding errors. So, this side, we need a common denominator, so this side needs a 12. So we're going to multiply by 12 over 12. This side needs a 17. We're going to multiply by 17 over 17. And then, again, you could multiply the whole thing by 12 times 17, whatever that big number is, and these cross out, because they would simplify. So you're left with 12 times sine of 107 equals 17 times sine of C. Again, we're trying to find C, so we're going to divide by 17 on both sides of the equation. And so now we know sine of C has to be 12 times sine of 107 divided by 17. So we'll get out Desmos again. So Desmos, let's pull it up. And let me clear this thing out. And let's enter it. Now here's the thing. We want the angle, so that's the inverse. So that's under the function keys. We're going to do inverse sine. I keep forgetting what I have. 12 times sine of 107. So 12, let me go back to the main, times sine of 107 we go. And then we need to divide that by, and that's okay, divide that by 17. And you should get an angle that makes sense. Notice 42.45. I'm going to hit enter. And being this is Khan Academy, if we need to find another side, we're going to need to use all these, as many of these decimals as you can, or copy that answer. You know, keep track of it. So 47.45715. I'm going to go quite a few. So let me eliminate that. So this angle that I was looking for angle C, yeah, so let me write that down so we have it. So that is angle C is 42 point, and again, I'm only doing this because we have to enter it into a computer program algorithm, and that's, so the more accuracy, the better. So 42.45715 is angle C. And then you could find the other angle, angle B, by just taking, so angle B then would have to be 180 minus the 107 minus the angle we just got, which is 42.457152. And so angle B, if you do that, is, just to speed things up here because I'm running out of time, 30.5428. Now here's the deal. We might need to find this angle, or this side B, little b here. So we're going to have to use this angle B. And so you want to use, again, as many decimals as you can. So we'll use all of those decimals. We'll start with that same sine of A. So sine of 107 over 17. So you might have to go back to the original image. And then sine of B, which now we have it, which is 30.5428, divided by whatever little b was. And little b, we don't know. Exactly, that's what we're trying to find. So now again, you're going to have to cross multiply this or get your common denominator. So we're going to take this side times b, this side times 17. Your bottoms, if we multiplied by 17b, would cross out. And you're left with b times sine of 107 equals 17 times sine of 30.5428. And then we would want to divide by sine of 107, since we're trying to get b by itself. And I'm going kind of fast because we're towards the end. And again, there's where you start plugging it in. So you'd plug in this, 17 times sine of 30.5428. So there we go. So 17 times sine of 30.5428 divided by, well, let me close that parenthesis. That would also mess you up. That's why you always want to make sure your answers make sense when you're done. So if your answer doesn't make sense, then 9.03 makes sense. And so there you go. There is the law of sine. Hope that helps. And next will be law of cosine later this afternoon.